Okay folks, you know the drill. I am going to need 10 taps. 4 for the hell, 1 for the space, 4 for the yeah, 1 to put a smile on my face. Come on then, let me see it in the chat. Dramatic music. Here they come. And let's do this. Hello folks, 9 o'clock Sunday night UK time. It can mean only one thing. It's time for the Sunday Night Alive, your weekly terrain Q&A question show. Almost got it. Almost got it. That was almost professional. What do we do? 10 seconds? 12? Return of the mail. Hello folks, I see all the hell yes coming in. Right. Shout out, I see Dave, CJ, Menno, Dave, Eric, Johnny, Dark Arts, Insane, Paul, Sub, Joe, Patrick, Tam, Stuart, Thomas, and it's just starting. Right, well, we let people sort of gather before we start the show again, because I've actually got quite a lot to show you. It's going to be a good one, this show. Pardon me. First off, quick reminder, the Google Doc is open. Yeah, this is a terrain question and answer show. I can't do the show without your questions. Yeah. Whoa. There's 5 already. You lot are keen, aren't you? Told you this was going to be a good show. Another thing, I've been messing around with the setup and working things out, and I've now figured out how I can show you web pages on screen, really nice and shiny. Yeah. So to give you an idea, I can show you stuff like this. Watch this. We can do that now, which I'm quite impressed with. Yeah, because it means I get to show you stuff. I've got some stuff over here. Yeah, that we're going to be looking at very quickly. Yeah, we've got some of this stuff, which is the Battle Systems terrain. So I'll be taking a peek at this. Yeah, I've got my tanks over there. They're coming on. Transfers are on. I need to light adjust and change this camera, but we can do that in the future. So they're ready for start stippling and weathering and washing and that sort of stuff, which is very important because I am very much getting my bolt action on. Right, that's enough of the groin shot. That's better. Low light. I'm seeing loads. No fluffy PJs and dressing gown this week. Well, I've got the fluffy trousers on, but I thought, well, you know, I should be a little bit more presentable for the show. Hey, Jazz. I'm cooking sausages at the mo. Good on you. I saw Dion's little resin pour. Give her congratulations. It's only taken her how many years to do a resin pour? Has she got my book? Do I need to send Dion a copy? Right. Apologies. A car's gone past. It sounds like they've got an entire, what you call it, concert going on in it. That was loud. Right. Again, no hoodie. No. Okay, I'll be honest with you what the situation with the pyjamas and the t-shirt is. It's quite simple. Yeah. I had some food before the show. Yeah, a couple of hours. It was a bit nippy. I put the heating on, you know, just on. Not up the thermostat, just put the heating on, and I fell asleep for a couple of hours. It's currently 22 degrees in here, so I'm toasty. So that's the reason. Will you stay focused? That's the reason for that. Now, story time with Mel. Yeah. If you're wondering why I have such a youthful appearance, there's a very, very good reason for that. It's because I was messing around with a Cala gas heater. Yeah, in the week, and I had it sort of explode on me, and I had one of those woof, yeah, which sort of took the eyebrows, yeah, scorched all the side of my face, which has left me with rather well trimmed eyebrows, and I've got to say, youthful skin, but my eyes are sore at the minute under this studio light. So if I look like I'm squinting or blinking a lot, it's because, yeah. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Can I have a shout out to Faith Castleton, my wife, sitting next to me pulling faces watching you instead of watching something she wants to. Faith. If you want to watch the live stream, Duck, you can. Just put put whatever naff HBO stuff, whatever you're watching on the TV off, and just come on in. We're friendly. You can watch. Her ears have pricked up now. She's like, oh, people are talking about me. Yeah. No, we'll definitely get her in, because if people start talking about it in the chat, there's no way she's going to be able to ignore that. So we've started something. So everyone, welcome Faith to the show. See, Dark Arts Doll's even got the evening, Faith. This is how people end up my moderators. They've got nothing to do with this show. They just sort of get pulled in. Yeah, everyone's saying hi, Faith. Bloody good drills, as Johnny would say. Right, I would like to say a shout out and a thank you to those who donated last stream to the third camera angle setup. See, I'm getting professional. Yeah. I've updated the total. The links are down below. Yeah, there's also a link to the Battle Systems Kickstarter, which is currently going on at the moment. We're going to have a peek at that in a minute. Yeah, so tell you what should we do first? Right, questions. Are we doing all the responses? Right, we've got 5. We'll let that grow a little bit. Yeah. I've talked about I've talked about blowing myself up. What else we got to talk about? Right, tell you what we will do, yeah? Before we have a play with the battle system stuff, and I'll show you that, yeah? I've been doing a couple of things recently, which is sort of, one, we've got, for the clan on Patreon, I've been doing like a weekly behind the scenes video, and as part of that, I've sort of been reviewing, asking people to post their stuff to the community tab on Patreon, and then I've been reviewing it as part of like a video. Now this Sunday's video, I think the clan gathering section was about 35 minutes long. So what I thought is, now I can sort of share things, I'll share that with you. So let's head over to that and I'll show you some of the things that people have posted. Yeah, now we're going to have to skip through the first because I need to talk about those in the in next week's clan gathering video. So that should be the button. There you are. Oh, that is my Patreon page. If you're not part of the clan, please consider it. Yeah, it helps all this goodness happens. There are links down below, and the community section is getting quite cool. Yeah, now there's a beautiful tank there. I'm not going to look at that. I'm not going to look at that. The reason I'm not looking at that is because I need to comment on them, yeah, properly. Yeah, in the clan video. So I'll skip those. Yeah, so we've got John's railway entrance. He's been working on that for quite a while. Yeah, he's working on some cliff stuff here. Yeah, he's got lava tubes there, and they're foil rock molds made in glasses, which is something that's worth having a play with. Right. Yeah, Moz's here, and he's showing up this setup, and I'll give you a quick tour. Yeah, small photos. Let me skip through the first. So, building substructures. Yeah. Look at that. That's better. Look at the woodwork. Lovely, isn't it? Then with the train. And I quite like this stratified effect here that he's used the layered foam for. Beautiful. Same there. Do like that. Yeah. Check this out. That's what you call lighting effects. Beautiful, isn't it? That's Lee's painting setup. Michael's little diorama with his minifigs. George's tank. Lovely water effects on this one. Check that out. That's for Fire and Ice. A Song of Fire and Ice. We've got a cool Burma table over here. Lovely setup. I'm curious about those buildings. I know that one's Sarissa. I don't recognise that one. And it just goes on. More John stuff. it's been a git. It won't let me load more right now. That's because it's going so well. Right. So that's what people have been posting over on the clan on Patreon, yeah, and I've been talking about it on the Sundays. So what I am going to say is, if you really do like the show and you want to show me your stuff and hear me talk about it, get tips, that sort of stuff, self-promotion, yeah, the links are down below. If you don't want to be part of the clan, just help us to sort of improve the videos and the terrain videos we're doing, yeah, we have the link to the whatchamacallit. We have the link to the stream target down there. You can send donations via PayPal. Yeah, I'll check them as we go. Yeah, hopefully we'll get some ding dongs and some notifications. Yeah, now before we go into whatchamacallit, before we go, right, comments. There's a lot going on, isn't there? Woosa, right. Let me grab the comments. I'm back in the Battletech Kickstarter. I haven't seen that. So any tips on 6mm terrain? It's not my field, to be perfectly honest. It's one of those that I could go into, but there's far better people than me. So I'm going to skip the 6mm until I've got something decent to say, to be perfectly honest. Jez is saying that I grabbed some of the battle systems sci-fi stuff. They do nice work. They really do. Yeah, the battle system stuff is lovely. I'm going to have a look at it in a minute. Yeah, just make these shows more interesting. Now, I will remind you, we need questions. I've still only got 5. And we're building this up. So if you've got any terrain-related questions that you want to have a deep dive into, yeah, get them into the question doc. At Terrain Shooter, dude, I think you should create a hobby version of the Swiss Army knife and call it Mel's whatchamacallit. You'll be rich beyond your wildest dreams. A terrain leatherman. I don't know what you'd put in a terrain pocket knife or a multi-knife. I'm not sure how you'd combine the PVA in there. Lee's saying, well worth the patron for those weekly clan videos. Everyone support Mel there if you can. Thank you, buddy. They are good. Just saying, whatchamacallit, it's great seeing people's work. Annie's in the chat. Hello, Annie. Lee's loving wife. Lee is incredibly lucky to have Annie as a wife. Yeah. I won't go into their friends, yeah, and I won't go into what Annie did for his hobby space, but yeah, damn. I had to get my own house to get a hobby space like that. Lee's wife just gifted it. Right. Hey kids, well, not Blinky the Gown, just me. Hey Red Green. Evan saying, didn't realise you'd already done today's vid. Well, check it out after this. It's a good one. It's just over 3/4 of an hour long. So it's a really good chat and that sort of stuff. And a really good deep dive into all the terrain and that sort of stuff. And the terrain, it's growing really well. So I'm quite pleased with that. It's actually quite nice to actually be putting stuff on Patreon that is actually really useful, if you know what I mean, as an extra to what I'm doing on the channel. So the fact that I'm doing the channel vids now and I'm aiming to get a decent terrain video out every Tuesday. I've just started doing the extra little interesting product reviews and shout out vids and the vlog vids. I'm going to start doing those and adding those in coming, hopefully like either Thursday, Friday or Saturday. Then you've got the clan gathering video, the chat halla video on a Sunday for all the clan members. So it's sort of, it's going the right way, if you know what I mean. And I feel a lot better about it. And the train we're doing is a lot better. A screw whatchamacallit, a savvy whatchamacallit, a sharp whatchamacallit. That's a lot of whatchamacallits. Big ass bottle of PVA. That's all you need. Tam's saying, for 6mm terrain, your ground texture needs to be very fine. Grout mixed with very fine sand is your best bet. Look at Geek Gaming. Scenics has been doing some 6mm dioramas recently. Well, there you go. Head over to Luke at Geek Gaming. Yeah, Luke APS. That's still his channel, isn't it? Yeah, if he's been doing it, go check him out. You have made the Swiss Army knife, the book. The Swiss Army knife of knowledge. Right, cake time. The cake of choice for this chat, Neapolitan. Right, people are starting to talk about 3D printers and that sort of stuff. Right, let's. I've done that. Right, let's get this party started. I'll tell you what, let's have a quick talk about battle systems. Yeah, because I do want to cover it. The link is down below. Battle systems, if you've not come across it before, yeah, it's cardboard put together terrain. Yeah, incredibly well done. There we go. Here you are. So, Stuart over at Battle Systems, he's got a Kickstarter going at the minute. Yeah, it is Maladum Dungeons of Enveron. I probably spelt that wrong. Typical me. They use these fantasy names and this sort of stuff. It gets confusing. So it's got 3 days to go. It is already over £500,000 worth of what you call it, of backing. So yeah, it's funded. Yeah, over 4,000 backers. And if I take you down, it's for this lovely stuff. Yeah, now this is cardboard terrain, but the Kickstarter itself, it's actually cardboard dungeon crawler terrain, as well as what you call it, as well as an actual game. Yeah, now Battle Systems did this game called sci-fi game called Core Space. Really good game. And what they've done is they've essentially transferred it over, yeah, to a fantasy setting. Yeah. So it's the basic dungeon crawler game. Yeah, using their terrain. Where's the, yeah, that's the basic pledge. So full game, full terrain, out of the box, all in one. Obviously, it's an expandable set. They're adding all sorts of things to it, so you can take it up really you can really sort of level it up and do some crazy things with it, to be perfectly honest. It looks great. I love this video. Just look how that comes together. And it is really sturdy stuff. Now, these are just all the add-ons, everything that's getting built up, and there is tons. Yeah, as I said, they're over £600,000 worth of funding. Yeah, so they're just smashing through stretch goals. Yeah, you can see the sort of walls, and you've got these sort of inserts which are used for the plastic clips that put it all together. Yeah, real ramshackled look. Dungeon furniture, and it just keeps going. You can see all of this is unlocked, and if you look very closely over here, there's tons. It is just keep going on and on and on and on and on. In all honesty, I could probably spend an hour just going through what you get on the Kickstarter. But if you are into your dungeon crawling games, if you're into your dungeon crawlers, there's a good reason to look at this. Okay, first off, it's an entire new game. Jumping on the Kickstarter, you're going to get an absolute ton of models. Yeah, they are general, generic sort of dungeon models, so you can transfer them over to your game. So it could be an easy way of getting a whole load, what you call it, more sort of models. On top of that, yeah, you've got the game itself. Yeah, Core Space is a cracking game. It's got a really good, dedicated fan following. It's this sort of space gang going on adventures, okay? And you get people doing all sorts of weird sort of connotations. I've seen gangs made up from the Futurama cast. I've seen gangs made up of the Scooby-Doo lot. Yeah. I've seen gangs made up from, you know, all sorts of sci-fi films. You know, the crews of this spaceship or the crews of this spaceship. Really good stuff. So you can do with it what you want, really. Okay, in that setting. So there's a lot of appeal for it. And then finally, battle systems are known for their terrain. They're really good at it. And a really simple modular dungeon system, all in one box. Yeah, so you can carry it around in one box, slap it on the table, have a great looking dungeon and expand it. Absolutely brilliant across the board. Okay, so I'm going to show you some of their terrain right now. Yeah, but I highly recommend, if you're into any of that, dungeon crawling, dungeon crawlers, terrain for dungeon crawlers, go check it out. And I'd also recommend checking out battle systems for their fantasy terrain. They've got castle terrain, they've got the shanty town, they've got the core space in sci-fi interiors. They've got a ton, to be perfectly honest. Right. Oh, okay. You do this to me every time. Right, getting things rolling, increasing our target. We've got Evan. Mel, I have a complaint. I put your terrain tips poster up in my new terrain making shed and it's starting being eaten. The culprit, a snail. He's gathering the knowledge, mate. He's going to be an amazing assistant once he's absorbed all the knowledge from the mistakes that went into sort of forming the rules of the terrain poster. Oh, a snail. That's a new one. That's put a smile on my face. It's not funny. Please make all future publications less appetizing to snails. I'll have a word with Dave about the paper quality. Maybe there's something we should do. Now that snail is going to booby trap the shed on you, mate. Beware. Terrain poster? Yeah, it was an add-on for the Kickstarter with the book. You know, there was a poster. I don't think I've actually got any copies of it. There's one in the studio. Right. Jez is saying on the that's what I wanted to do. On the battle system stuff, the fantasy stuff is nice. That game looks awesome. The sci-fi interiors are brilliant. I grabbed them for Stargrave. Obviously, for the exteriors, I made because that stuff's the law. Exactly, Jez. But there's nothing wrong with getting like really nice interiors. So let me get some of the gubbins out and show you. Okay, let's change the angle. Death shot, gratuitous groin shot. So, this is their shantytown set. And some of it's put together, but most of it isn't. Okay. In fact, planning and preparation, both. Rightio. Right. Now, basically, it is really sort of hard die cut. I think it's die cut they call it. Die cut terrain. And there's loads of bits, so it's best to look after them. Now, basically what you get is you get these And as you can see, I've been judiciously popping away. Yeah, but those are some of the walls and the floor structures, and to take them out, they're really easy. Yeah, they're really well cut, well machined, sort of, so there's no ripping, there's no fiddly bits. Yeah, these actually come away better than some of the MDF sort of pieces I've worked with. Yeah, if I bring them up to the camera, yeah, you can see all the pieces are insanely high detailed. Yeah, they've got sort of a matte covering on them. It's not a gloss, it's not glossy. Yeah, there is a little, what's the term, perhaps silk. Yeah, but it's low shine, so it doesn't sort of, you know, like some cardboard terrain can be really glossy. Oh, talk! Thank you, buddy! That's it. That's going towards the total. We are on our way for getting my 3 cameras. That's going to be great. Yeah, let me keep going. You're distracting me, buddy. Yeah, and you get all sorts of details from, like, you know, corrugated panels, more roofs. Yeah, those. They're sort of barriers that you can put on your roofs and that sort of stuff. I think we need to bring this camera in a little bit closer for future. We'll have a play with that and I'll get that set up for next time. Yeah, as you can see, I've popped quite a few of these. Yeah, and they're full of really quirky stuff. Yeah. Chug. Don't mup it. Chug it. Yeah, all sorts of barriers, that sort of stuff. There's tables. Yeah, so that's an actual dining table. There's sofas. That's part of a wardrobe. Plus loads of signs, stairs, absolutely all sorts. So they come on these what you call it, and then once you pop them out, let me throw these over here. You get these. Yeah, so windows, these are wall sections, door, window. Yeah, and you can see these slits. At the same time, you get these. These are little plastic connectors, and what you can do is you can just simply go along and go la di da di da. There's a wall piece. I like that wall piece. There's a plastic connector on it. I'm going to put that with there. Yeah, I'm going to, right, I've got to go hunting for plastic connectors now. They're in this box, so I'm just going to put this box over here. I will have a quick nose at the PayPal notifications, just in case. I don't think. Or maybe. Ah, that was that Don. That's just gone through. Thank you, buddy. Thanks, Don. Actually, no, that's Don. Right, thank you, buddy. Yeah, it's going. It's ticking. We're getting there. Right. You not know how to put a smile on my face. I know there's conversations to be had about gopher dances. We'll save that for the future. We're not there yet. Right. Let me get a load of these clips out. Now, with these clips, you get actually quite a few of them. Okay. And you'll notice there's sort of cross ones, there's T-junctions, there's corner ones, and there's even sort of like curved ones. So for example, with the curved ones, yeah, you can get those corrugated pieces. Yeah, use the curved ones to make a simple standing feature that'll support itself and you can drop anywhere on. And with the amount of these, you can make it quite large, you could make an encampment, that sort of stuff. In the case of what we're doing with this, yeah, what we'll do is we'll get this one. Yeah, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll put corner one on that. Well, make sure I get it the right way around. Yeah. We'll put that on there. Push those in. Yeah, I've got this side. I'm going to put a T-junction on here. Yeah, so we've got one here. We drop that in there. Yeah, connect that with that. And then we've got what is, I believe, is that 4x4? Yeah, they're 2-inch squares. So, and it's really actually really sturdy. Yeah, I mean, even if I hold it like that. Yeah, because of the plastic clips. Now I've got that extending there, so what I can do is I can get this, and we can go, should have probably done it the other way. Yeah, but you could throw that on. Yeah, start to make the encampment for it. Then, extending it up. Yeah, just let me disconnect this. If you look at the actual piece, yeah, you've got these you've got the large slits, which sort of sit in the middle of the panels, and then you've got lots of littler ones, okay? You see them here, all the indents, that sort of thing. What they're for is, if you look at the clips, they've got like a ridge line on them. And if you use the corner clips, like this, yeah, you can create a top that has the clips at the bottom. The clips at the bottom are designed to sit neatly and brace into those holes. So, you can bring them and put them straight down. Now at the minute I've just got these sitting on, but what you can do is you can sort of extend these and use the sort of T-junctions and have it so you can slide on and really sort of fix it together. But just resting on them, yeah, you see it's perfectly fine. How many mods are there in the chat? Hey Kat, Jez, Tamsin, Martin. I'm feeling outnumbered, folks. I'm doing terrain, The mods are going to start bullying me. Right, next up, yeah, you've got all the interesting little... So, you've got that, but it comes with that many pieces, yeah, that you can make something like that. You can make... And I've literally just been throwing these together with that one. That actually goes on to something else I put together, I think. Where's that one? It's quite endless, to be perfectly honest. And on top of that, yeah, it's interchangeable. Now, what's really good about this is if you think about it from the dungeon terrain setup sort of stuff, with your dungeon crawlers, with these you can sort of say, okay, yeah, I can see how you can make some big stuff, you can make some small stuff, that'd be interesting. Yeah, but with the dungeon crawler stuff and this clip stuff, you can really quickly put together a dungeon on the fly as you play and have it literally that crawler sort of rolling exploration thing. Yeah, because it is so quick just to, you know, change things about. I'm kind of doing it quick, like, oh, I'm showing off here. Yeah. Now, one of the things I have, so, dead easy, dead quick. On top of all the buildings, yeah. All right, move that over there. They do loads of gribblies. Okay, so, stairs. Yeah, put together. Yeah, these will slide in. Let me get this, in fact, let me get this roof. So this roof has had the little barriers put on, and it's got a little sort of like overhang there. Put that on there. Ba-ba. And then this would simply come up and slide into there. How is it? Or does it go into there? It goes like that. So it goes there. That's it. I've got that on just a little bit wrong. Have I put that in wrong, I wonder? I'm not sure. I think that's supposed to have a bit of an overhang. So it just goes up to there. So anyway, stairs. That's part of a tower. Containers. Shelves. Trash cans. mailboxes, more stairs. Yeah, I think that goes on something like that. I need to figure that out. Yeah, power generators, all cardboard terrain, absolutely wicked. And then on top of that, with all that stuff, yeah, AC units, refrigerators. I think that's a candy machine or something like that. Yeah, more AC units. And on top of that, if I bring it up, a mass more walls, barriers, and as you can see, there's tons. So, all of this, yeah, plus what's yet to be popped out. Yeah, is this the lid? I'm going to have to do something I don't really want to do right now, but don't do it like that. Grab all those, because I want to show you the lid of this. Right. Oh, there's tons. All of that, so all these buildings, all the bits, all the stuff I haven't popped out, it's all, what you call it, just the core set for the shantytown. It's not even the expanded set or the expansions, okay? Bottom line cost, shantytown, I'll tell you what, let's have a look. Battle Systems Shantytown. It's looking cheap, so I can see it's 5 storm. I've got it for 70. So very quickly, here we go. There you are, Battle Systems Shantytown core set. They've currently got it for £72, and you can see literally all of it, and it comes with the mat as well. Now, I'm not sort of saying that and sort of trying to like, oh, you've got to buy the set. My point is that the Battle Systems sets come ram-packed with stuff. Okay, so if you're into your dungeon crawlers and that sort of stuff, I would highly recommend jumping on their Kickstarter. Right, I'm going to, what you call it, I'm going to start putting these away. And then we can start diving into some actual terrain questions, because we're already well into the show, to be perfectly honest. It's going well. I need to see, all right, we've got 8 questions so far. We can get a few more in and it looks like we're going to have a good show here. Right, so done that. Done that. Right, let me just quickly put these stuff off my desk. Right, let me move that over there. And then we can continue. So folks, that's the Battle Systems stuff. Yeah, highly recommend it. The links are down below. Go check it out. Right. We are nailing the pink milk. It's coming up to question time. I'm going to do a quick check. Oh, I think we've got something. Let's confirm it's you. I'm being challenged, which isn't really good with my eyesight. That writing is way too small. Over to Tom. Give a shout out to Tom. Thank you, buddy. That's another £5 towards the total. We are getting there. Thanks, Tom. Remember, folks, the link, if you're liking the show, the links are down below. Yeah, we are currently fundraising for that third camera setup, so I can do the overshot when I'm doing the videos from the studio. So that's what it's all going towards. Right. Whack a rat. The chat's just full. Jez is saying that the set's a great value and their YouTube has a how-to building videos. Right. Let's get stuck into the questions, eh? Okay, let's hit the Sunday night questions. Ooh, there's plenty of questions. Right, shall we get started? Johnny Cooper's asking, any plans yet for a BBB airfield? Yes. Yeah. To be perfectly honest, I've been having a bit of a deep dive into sort of the BBB and airfields this past week. It's quite a poignant question, to be truthful, mate. I've been going into sort of like the air support for the Chindits and doing a deep dive into the, into First Air Commando, which was their air support. Now, First Air Commando is kind of special because it was the start of the United States Air Force's Special Operations Group, which is like their fancy like Special Forces of airplanes. Yeah. And this First Air Commando were the first sort of unit. Yeah, and they also, alongside with the Chindits, they actually pioneered close air support. Yeah, as in with direct communication from the troops on the ground to the pilot. Okay, so there's a whole load of a load of interesting stuff along that. So yes, there is an interest about doing an airfield. Right now, I just think the Burma build needs a few more things, more crucially than an airfield. Yeah, an airfield is very specific. It's only going to get used in a few games, not that regularly. Yeah, and I could really do with actually adding some height to the Burma build, to be perfectly honest, and getting some hills in there first. So, with that in mind, yeah, I've got to sort of tackle, I really need to work on that first, if you know what I mean. But yes, there is definitely an idea for an airfield. Modular runway, buildings, or prefab, something like that. I need to look into it. I really need to research White City. Yeah. Or not White City. Charangi. I need to do my research. Rusted saying airfields take up a lot of space. They do. Martin's come back with the BBB needs a summer house on a hill with a tennis court and trenches. I know the battle you're talking about. I just don't want to say that. Is that Kohima? I really need to deep dive into my research again. Rusted says Burma needs a rail track. Yes, that is something it does do. I've actually got one. Laser cut railway. There you go. Right, which camera are we going for? That one. With the tracks and the rails. This was actually done by a guy up at the up at the local gaming club who does odds and sods for he's got a laser cutter and he does odds and sods for them. Yeah. And it's just That's a coal wagon, yeah. The issue is the scale is just slightly off, I think, or I don't. He was working out the scale and that sort of stuff, and I didn't want to sort of proceed with it until he got the scale right, yeah, and I could get more pieces of the same scale because I didn't want him to adjust them or anything like that. So I actually do have a railway. The things I have in boxes is crazy. Tamsin's saying, a typical 6x4 table would only be a small section of an airfield. I know what you're saying. Yeah, I'm sort of conscious. I'm also saying that a runway, yeah, would take up a lot of table space. So essentially, airfields are basically empty tables with scatterings of terrain around the edges. So I think if I did a runway, if I did an airfield, what I'd actually do is I'd do sort of like the workings area, i.e. the end of the runway where, you know, all the fuel's kept, where they sort of taxi in, where the nets are and that sort of stuff, that they hide them. Yeah, because that would be a lot more interesting, and actually have the runway as like sort of token going off the side of the table. Red Green saying HO train tracks will do you. I need to have a deep dive and decide what I want to do, but yes, the Burma build most definitely does need a railway. Because the Chindits, one of the things that they regularly did was attack the railways. Right, question 2. CJ, what about isolation reach then? Oh, you are hitting me with it today, aren't you? Yeah, that is on the shelf. That does need to come back. Yeah, I'm getting back into my mojo, and I'm back in the studio a lot more. So I don't want to make promises and not deliver on it, but it's not going away. Yeah, I just want to wrap up the Burma build so me and Lee can start gaming on it. Yeah, but yeah, isolation reach is definitely coming back because I've got a ton of stuff for that. Well, I was saying I was right. The summer house with the with the tennis court was Kohima. The Royal West Kents, one of the founding regiments of my old regiment, fought there, and one of them won a VC. Oh, did one of your founding regiments win a VC, mate? Just 1 second. Just 1 second on that. How very noble of your founding regiment. How many VCs does the Royal Army Medical Corps have? Since the Victoria Cross was instituted in 1856, there have been 27 Victoria Crosses and 2 bars, so double Victoria Crosses, awarded to Army medical personnel. Did you get a VC? Did you regiment to get a VC? Here's my Corps VCs. A bar indicating a subsequent award of a second Victoria Cross has only ever been awarded 3 times. 2 of them to medical officers. So let's be clear, yeah? There's only ever been 3 double Victoria Crosses given out. And 2 of them were to medics. Left you with 1, mate. Martin's a friend of mine. I am going to be getting so much grief in that messenger chat. I've started something. You watch the comments. No way I was letting that pass. No chance. It's a good thing there's a medic here because someone's been slayed. Mel should be freaking knighted by charity. Forget the Chindits. We need to see the Army Medical Corps in the BBB. I actually did an Army Medical unit. It's on that shelf over there. Yeah, for my Imperial Guard. And he's an interesting thing for our British sort of viewers. You know Griff Rhys-Jones, the actor? His dad was actually an Army Medical Officer with the Chindits in Burma. So there's a nice little side diversion at some point for that. Maybe a little field ambulance unit. Martin hasn't replied yet, which is worrying, which tends to suggest he's researching something to hammer me with. I'm like, Victoria Cross, I'm Victoria Furious. Professor Crastine, I popped in to see what was happening and got the bird flipped to me. I wasn't flipping the bird, mate. I was just saying about how a mate of mine's regiment only got one. Do we need to see Mini Mel in the BBB? I've got Mini Mel. I've got a Mini Mel here. So, I've got, yeah, I can't remember the name of this. M7, M32, M6, down to the M25, round the side, back up the M1. But I have a Mini Mel. Now, for those of you who didn't know, yeah, there's a story behind this. During the Kickstarter, Dave Taylor, yeah, completely without my knowledge, decided it'd be a good idea to have these made and sent to every single backer. A model of me. Now, I didn't know anything about this model, yeah, until they were all in a box being shipped across some ocean. So, you know, they'd been designed, signed off, manufactured, and were already shipped when Dave went, oh, I thought this would be a good treat. So, I had nothing to do with the creation of this model, but it exists. Now, I've got this, yeah, and there's no crew in it. And what I'm wondering is, yeah, very quickly, is, if I bring it up, right, we do need to have a play with this camera. Right, there you go. You can see he's got two heads, but one of them's got the monster head on, yeah, and then he's got my sort of arms, books, my hoodie, okay? I'm thinking about chopping the legs a bit, but putting me in the cupola for this tank. Yeah, and I don't know whether to go for a monster head and do sort of like the loony sort of character, or go for my my normal head, because Warlord Games, they have a plastic sprue for their models, yeah, with separate helmets that you can put on your characters. So I could put a British Army tin helmet on top of my head and have me in this tank. So with regards to Mini Mel, that's Mini Mel, and yeah, Mini Mel probably is going to make it onto the Burma build as a tank commander, or an M7 priest, as the chat is telling me clearly. Oh, here we go. How long? PWRR and the Forebear regiments have 28 VCs. Yeah, but how many double VCs do they have, mate? Right. You should mod that tank with Combat Dig EQ electronics. I don't know what Combat Dig EQ electronics is. Yeah? But I'm curious. Mini Mel, why am I thinking oddball? That's the dude. That's who I want to do. That's who I'd be. I'm still wishing for a Mini Mel to my British. There's plenty of mini Mel's floating about. I'm sure if you stuck up a post saying, has anyone got one? So one of the Terrainiacs or someone would stick theirs in the post. Like I say, 5,500 of them got made. I think I've seen about 10 painted. Cut it out with those with your negative vibes, man. Yeah, I am thinking very much like Oddball, but with my monster hat. Mel, hi Mel, glad I caught you. I just wanted to say thank you so much. I've been using your terrain videos to build stuff for my bolt action addiction, and I have to say you are excellent. No worries, Ainsley. Glad you're enjoying the videos, matey. Now, there should be a Mel statue that can be an objective marker. Similarly to Jane's statue in the Firefly episode, Jane's. Didn't they make that statue out of mud of Jane in Janestown? I got the reference. There's a lot of spare heads. Yes, the unknown combat Diggy Q RC tanks. That sounds like something I'm going to have to dive into. Stubby saying, Mel, not sure if you're doing a Q&A tonight. We're actually in the middle of it, believe it or not, mate. A while back you did an awesome video where do you get the bags of static grass, the bulk bags? Ah, the bulk bags of static grass. You want to go to a website called www.flocking.biz. I know it's a biz site, yeah. That's what they bought for their website. They thought it would, you know, over a flocking.com. But go to flocking.biz and you'll see huge bags. Right, on with the questions, folks. If you're liking the show, there are links down below. Yeah, make the screen ding and put a smile on my face. Yeah, we are currently funding for the third camera setup down here in this corner. And well on the way. We are 20%, and with tonight's we've probably gone up to about 22%. So let's see if we can add a couple more percentages on. Right, Paul Wildman. I'm using Italian herbs for basing figures. Your idea pitched. But what would you suggest to make them more sci-fi? If I was going to make them more sci-fi, I'd probably go for vivid colours. Yeah. Reds, greens, blues. High, vivid colours. You could look at doing thin down washes, or you could look at getting some really... You get some fluorescent, what you call inks and stuff like that. Add a couple of dashes of those in places. That'd certainly sort of like, you know, heighten things up a bit. But yeah, it's the colours more than anything, if you want to take it. Yeah, you need to get, for a sci-fi feel, you're going to want something that is not natural, or we wouldn't expect to see on Earth. So I'd go for vivid colours, stuff like that. I mean, there's various places you can get interesting, sort of like quirky little plants and stuff. Yeah, GW do some like weird plastic like plants that you can fix and paint on. You use milliput green stuff, all sorts of little tubular things and stuff like that. And potpourri, the smelly stuff, that can be really good as an interesting supply of off-worldy plants, if you know, vegetation. Yeah, just need to sort of have a look at it and find the chunky stuff with the nice interesting bits in. Yeah, and then just seal them with watered down PVA. But all those will sort of give you an off-worldy base sort of look. Thank you, Rosie. Right, hope that helps. Obviously, if there's anyone in the comments who've got any other ideas of, you know, taking a herb base and make it more sci-fi, let me know. Let's hear it. Insane saying with regards to my head, buy a Warlord British or Desert Rat sprue and a helmet sprue and use the bare head. I've already got the head, yeah, and I've got Okay. They're Romans. Pretty sure. Right, they're Japanese, they're Japanese, they're Japanese. Are they Japanese? They're all Japanese. I know I've got some. I've got some helmets. I'll find them. Sorry, Mel. You probably get this question a lot, but I'm getting into making dioramas for my modelling kits. Where's the best, cheapest place to get XPS foam without buying in bulk? What's the insulation called that I use on what you call it, the 10mm sheets that you can buy in individual sheets on Amazon? Jacador insulation on Amazon. They do 10mm sheets, mate. Yeah, so you'll be able to buy a single sheet. Yeah, it'll be like, I think it's 2 foot by 4 foot, and they'll supply one single sheet, so you can just, that's pretty much the smallest amount you can get. Yeah, but it's called Jacador. Yeah, Jack O and then D-A-U-R. Jackson Jacador. They are. Thomas has put it in the chat for us. Mel is my hero. Mini Mel deserves a beret. I could do a beret. Beret ain't a problem. In fact, the models are actually, what you call it? For the first time, my Imperial Guard are actually at the studio, not here. But I can sculpt berets with green stuff. Perhaps I should do that. Should I sculpt a beret? I wonder if I could sculpt a slouch hat on him. Am I good enough to sculpt a slouch hat? I don't know. I might give that a go, you know. For my little tank commander, instead of giving like a monster head, Mel, I could either give him a beret or a slouch hat. With regards to the sci-fi bases, yeah, yellow and orange lichen and coloured teddy bear fur, i.e. purple for sci-fi, yeah, that'll work. Maybe some modern ruin can be integrated into the ground for a more sci-fi realistic result. You could definitely get like metallic, like little bits of spring or grill or something like that. Embed it in the ground so it looks like it's been buried over. You know what I mean? There's only a little bit showing. That would still allow you to use the herbs, but it would give it a sci-fi feel. You could do a Chindit's Kelly's Heroes, Melly's Heroes. Stop it. I like that idea. Stop it. Right. We've still got 9 questions to go. And we're an hour into the show, so it's a cracker. Okay, the Stewarts. I'm experimenting with magnets to hold layers of terrain together, just to steady it on the table. Do you ever use magnets? If so, what size? What method are you using to install them? Right. Generally, I don't use magnets with terrain. Yeah. There can be times when I really want to use magnets is if I want to put something on a piece of terrain that I want to be able to take off for storage, or I'm concerned it might get caught and knocked over. So perhaps you've got like a comms facility and it's got a really tall tower on it with an antenna, you know. Attaching that with magnets makes sense because it's like if you knock it, then instead of breaking the model, it just sort of detaches and you can put it back on. Secondly, from storage, you can just pop it off. So that sort of works. When it comes to installing them, basically I recess them. So I either drill holes into things to drop them in or drop putty in, yeah, to drop them in. Yeah, but generally I don't use magnets for terrain, mate. Yeah, Diggy saying magnets are great for trees. Yeah, much like with the idea of the aerial. It's the same principle. Yeah, makes them a lot easier to move, detach, that sort of thing. Use one of the Roman centurion heads for your tank commander. Later's insane. So what? I mean, who was that? What you call it? Who was the He-Man character? The guy that with the toy model you used to press his head, and every time you pressed his head, you got a different face. This is what the time my tank commander is going to come like. Right. Hope that helps you, Stuart. Yeah. Right. Great Night Gaming. When are you getting your puppet assistant, and what will they be called? You know what? You can bugger off, mate. And with regards to what my puppet assistant could be called, I'll leave that to the chat. Man of Faces. Yeah, that was the He-Man guy. Look at all these nerds. Time for a magnet for the head. I'm not doing a head swapping. If I'm going to do him, I'm going to pick one style. He's either going to be like, you know, the oddball character, or I'm going to put a beret or a slouch hat on him. Yeah, I think it's enough that I'm driving my own tank. Right. Ben saying, any ideas for making a desert warfare table look interesting and full whilst keeping the terrain as open as opposed to an Western European table? Yes, there's all sorts of things you can do. Yeah, scree ground. Okay, you can have areas of very loose rocks and that sort of stuff. Yeah, although it doesn't sound much. Yeah, when you place a few of these down on a large open desert table, they help break it up. So that's one way of sort of just very simply breaking the ground. You've got tracks. Yeah, you can do dried up waddies with cracked earth very simply. Yeah, they only have, you don't even have to do full lines. You can just do like pieces that give the impression that there was a water hole or a water track there at some point. Yeah, obviously you've got the oasis, but at the same time, a little bit of crackle paste on a base. You can do a dried up waddy really easily. Obviously small rock clusters, little things like that, they'll all go a long way to sort of like reinforcing that. So straight away you've got loose scree ground, you've got dried up tracks, you've got dried up waddies, yeah, dried up watering holes and little rock clusters. Yeah, between those, mate, you should be able to put together a good selection. And because they're not really high things or dominating things, you can actually make them quite a few and make them quite large because they're really easily storable. Yeah, and you'll be able to drop them down and then just play over them, and they won't really impede play that much, but they'll make your desert look a lot more broken up and a lot more varied and interesting. Desert palm trees, yep, Mark, desert palm trees, that'll work. That goes with the waddy stuff. You've got old ruins, you've got, you could do, what you call it, if you don't want to do buildings, you could just do the outline of buildings where, you know, perhaps all the brick's been robbed or it's broken in and you've just got a very thin little bit at the bottom, and then you could do like some complexes with a couple of rooms and that sort of stuff, all sort of little broken down. Yeah, that way it won't dominate the table, it won't be that line of sight blocking, but it'll still be a bit varied on the table. Joe's saying an olive orchard. I imagine, yeah. I don't know enough about olives or orchards and their settings, but they were big in Roman times and that sort of stuff. So they're obviously Mediterranean, hot environments, dry earth. So perhaps, yeah. Camouflage beast head. That's the choice. Okay, Angelo. Right. Right, Ben, I hope that helps you. You've got plenty of ideas there. To start off with, I'd probably just go and make some ruined buildings. Yeah, you're probably not going to feel that confident with, oh, just make some loose screed. So make something a little bit interesting. Just make the walls like a couple of bricks high. Yeah, and then just have a few more bricks scattered around and that sort of stuff. Tam's saying olive groves wouldn't be out in the desert though. That's what I was wondering. Don't they need like a decent water supply and irrigation? I know they're hot environment trees. I just don't know whether they need the actual cultivation. Right. Question 7 of 13. I'm going to do this one. I'll do a quick check and then we'll crack on. Yeah. Josh is asking, I'm pretty new to dioramas in terrain, so I thought I would ask, what budget for building a diorama should I have? Oh, you started a fight now, mate. You brought budget into it. Do you have any suggestions on which static grass applicator I should get? Right, I'll answer the first one. I'll answer the last one first. There's a load of static grass applicators. I use one from a guy called from a website called Flotbox. Is it flotbox.net? I can't remember the name now. Struggling now. I don't know if they still make them though. Yeah. Now there's World War Scenics, WWS. They have a really good selection of static grass applicators. So if I'm going to recommend anyone at this point, I don't know if flotbox.net is still going or wherever their website was called. So I'm going to recommend World War Scenics, WWS. Yeah, and they do static grass applicators. On what the budget for building a diorama should be, how long is a piece of string? It really does. I mean, there will be people in here who will use the cheapest materials. They'll know all the hacks. They'll know where to get stuff for free. And there will be people in this chat who use absolutely pro everything. What you want to do is, the budget for a diorama is how much you're happy on spending for that diorama, mate. Because you can spend as little or as much as you like. Trust me. Yeah. It really is down to how much you want to spend. Yeah. When it comes down to results, to be honest, yeah, you can buy all pro materials, but quite often it's about how good you are at using them. So if you're new to diorama making and that sort of stuff, I would start off with the more amateur materials and that sort of stuff. Learn how to use and get your hands and sort of cut your teeth on those, and then upgrade to the more pro materials. Yeah, that's how I'd approach it. Yeah. Right, it's warpainter.net, but they don't make the Flotbox anymore. Tam, do they still do the awesome sheets of all the diorama tufts and that sort of stuff? I'm guessing they do. He used to sell on eBay huge A4 sheets of really nice tufts. Yeah. Shakos and Sprues is saying World War WWS spot on. Absolutely agree. I have quite a few of their tufts and materials and stuff like that. Right. Make sure we're not missing anyone. No one's dang my ding in a while. No, I think we're good. Right, if you're liking the show, the links are down below, guys. No worries, Josh. Hope it helps you, buddy. Rusty Beetle. I have some uncertain scenery boards I need to assemble. Do you recommend clamps whilst assembling them? I normally hold buildings together with binder clips and rubber bands, but Craig's boards are much bigger. Generally, I'd go with masking tape for Craig's boards. That's what I did. Yeah, I didn't use clamps or anything like that. Yeah, because I mean, they are big boards. You know what I mean? Quite chunky. I would use masking tape to hold things in place with those boards, mate. Yeah, Tam's saying just painted, warpainted. Just check warpainter.net site. Yes, they still sell tufts. Really good supplier of tufts. Yeah, I used to get loads from him before I started making my own. Right, that's Rusted Beetle's question answered. Let's move it on. This person hasn't left a name. Is PVA basically wood glue? Yeah, pretty much. I think wood glue has, professional wood glue, the more yellowy stuff, I think that has something else in it. Yeah, maybe an activator or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, pretty much PVA is wood glue. Polyvinyl acetate. Right, Thomas, we're working on a Danish bolt action library, complete game set. The first set is Italy. How would you make rock formations for the Italian countryside? To be perfectly honest, yeah, for Italian and that sort of stuff, and Mediterranean, the more sandy stone, sort of rocks, that sort of stuff, I would go with cork bark. Yeah, cork bark always looks best, yeah, in desert environments and in hot environments as like compared to, you know, your casts and your sculpting and that sort of stuff. It just does. Yeah, so I would start raiding the cork bark supplies for it, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, and start stocking up on ochre yellow, because you're going to need a lot of it. I hope that helps you, buddy. Yeah, Shakers is saying flocking with Mel. There's a video title asking to be made. There is a video in my catalogue titled how to flock like a pro, and it is literally a video about flocking like a pro. Right, moving on. Around the world in 80 flocks. Right. 92. Sorry, Mel. You probably get. I've already answered this question. This is the Jackadaw question. But what I am going to do is answer it properly. I can't answer it properly because I can't find it now. Never mind. I have answered that question already. Right, moving on. We are on question 12 of 13. And considering the time, if anyone's got a desperate question they need to get to ask, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to get it in. Then I'm going to close the question doc. Gary's asking what you need on the M7 is a loudspeaker on it also. Are you really suggesting I should kit it up like Oddball's tank? Really? Is that what you're saying? That could be quite funny. I quite like that. In fact, I've got a few sort of headless models. I could do like a loading crew, all with Mel heads. And it could be the Tank Man by Mel's. He's so strict. You love it, Diggy. Paul's saying he's seen my flocking like a pro vid. It's flocking good. Thank you, dude. Mel, I'd like to get my hands on your book. Where is the best place to buy it from? Is there a link in the description, guys? Just curious, is there an actual link in the description? I don't actually know. No, there isn't a link to the book in the description. I need to get that sorted for next time. There's two places you can buy it from all good bricks and mortar stores. Yeah, you can buy it online. There's two places generally I recommend is if you're in the US or Canada. Yeah, go to Iron Heart Artisans, okay, and they'll be able to get it to you for the cheapest shipping. Anywhere else in the world, go to Warlord Games and they'll ship it to anywhere else in the world for you. So, Iron Heart Artisans or Warlord Games. And as there's been no more, I'm closing the dock because I'm strict. Stubby Dragon. Hey Mel, sorry worded my question back badly. I already know about the static place. I'm wondering if you know anywhere does big bulk bags of scatterflock, similar to Woodland Scenics jars, but big bags. Right mate, if you're after even bigger bags than that, I can't help you. My only suggestion would perhaps, if you're in the UK, perhaps contact Javis, yeah, javis.co.uk, and ask them if they'd be willing to do you like a wholesaler bag or a bulk bag. They do big supply bags. I just haven't bought them in a while, and I don't know how big they are. Vorpal comes in right at the end with, are we live again? Dude, really? Shaco saying, Wayland Games have one copy left on sale if you're in the UK. Wayland Games always have one copy, because the moment they sell that one copy, they say they have one copy. There's a good chance with Wayland Games they don't actually have a copy, they just say they've got a copy, and what's going to happen is when you order it, they'll put an order in with Warlord. Okay, Stubby, glad that helped. Oh, Tam's put the link up for the book. Thank you, darling. Scenic Express in North America for bulk scenery products. I've heard about Scenery Express. They do good stuff. Yeah. Right. That is our questions done. We have coming in at just shy an hour and a half for a live show. So, much like old times. We've looked at cardboard terrain, we've looked at tanks, I've got an oddball character I need to put together. We've had a hell of a Q&A show. I've been managed to show you some of the builds on Facebook and on the watch clip, on the clan chat. Big one, if you're part of the Patreon clan, get yourself over to the site, check out the weekly behind the sceneries Chatella videos, go to the community tab, post what you're working on or what you've built off my videos on there, so I've got something to talk about for next Sunday's vid. Yeah. In the meantime, I'm just going to wish you well, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, it's been a pleasure spending Sunday night with you. As always, I'm going to need 10 taps. You know what for? 4 for the hell, 1 for the space, 4 for the yeah, 1 to put a smile on my face. Oh, bless you. Terra.